Yeah, the Cardinals are 2-0, and we are joined on the Arizona Sports Line by a Cardinals legend, Patrick Peterson. Patrick, thank you so much for the time. How's it going?
I'm doing great as always, guys. Hey, I got a quick question. Is that Wolf saying P2 and the red zone and all that stuff? Sound like Wolf a little bit.
You know, I think it was. Was it, Rick?
Wolf doesn't know.
It's either Wolf or our voice guy,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, I don't know. But, Pat, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, Wolf. Guess you want to take a wild guess where I'm at right now?
Where are you?
On the golf course.
Okay. Oh, man. All right. Typically, you're on the golf course every Tuesday, are you not?
I am.
Oh,
I am. That's
see, I
that's
knew
typically
that.
like my free day. Yeah.
Well, that's funny, Patrick, because we were going to ask you if you had any interest in just coming back and playing corner for the Cardinals since everybody on the team is hurt. How quickly can you get back in here?
You know what? You know, I wish I could come back, but I haven't worked out in God knows how long.
Pat, have you ever seen anything like this? You've got three starting corners, and all three went down in a game. Have you ever seen anything like that?
I haven't, man. And Wolf, you can contest to this. When I was there, we didn't have the liberty to lose three corners in one game because, for the most part, I remember one year we only had 7 DBs total. You know what I mean? So
right.
we had to stay healthy as we could. You know, so no, that I never had an opportunity to experience that. But you know, this is unfamiliar territory for the Cardinals for the most part as well, because they never really had to deal with multiple people in the secondary going down at once. You know, so they're going to have to make sure that they build that development team. That's what guys like to call it now, not practice squad. The development team, hopefully they build some guys up that they can trust if the guys are not able to go, that they can go in there and step in and contribute to a win.
Pat P, is that what the guys call it now, the development team? Is that, honestly, because, the practice squad is something, you're calling it different. Is that what they call it?
Honestly, if you think about it, it's essentially is a development team because for the most part, those guys are out there. They're practicing with us, obviously practicing the other teams, formations and plays. But at the same time, you're going up against the ones. So if you have an opportunity to be called up, you're getting developed to play against ones. So as of now, that's why. The last 3 years, that's what I've been hearing. And when I was in Minnesota and when I was in Pittsburgh, I started hearing the saying of development team versus practice squad.
Interesting.
We're talking to Patrick Peterson. So, Patrick, how do you even counteract this if you're the Cardinals? They haven't given any official injury updates on these guys yet, but if they really have to play without 2 or 3 of these guys for a while, who does the responsibility? Does more fall on the safeties? Is it just solely on the guys that are getting called up?
No, it's going to be called on the guys up front, the line of scrimmage, because we all know the game is won and lost in the trenches. I know that's a lost art right now, but if those guys can be able to pressure the passer like they did in the first 3 quarters of that game, but they kind of picked it up in the last part of the fourth quarter. But if they're able to harass quarterbacks, it's just going to make it easier for the guys in the back end. That's going to give, the defensive coordinator and Gannon the opportunity to play a little bit more zones versus playing something that they're used to, more accustomed to, like fire zones, blitzing, playing zeros. So now they have to play a little bit more safe and rely on the front 4 or the front 7 to apply that pressure to force the quarterbacks to make bad decisions.
This is what I wanted to ask you. This is fascinating to me. How does this impact how a defensive coordinator calls the game? If, in fact, he's going to have all 3 corners out. I'm just saying, hypothetically, let's just say all 3 corners miss, and now you've got backup corners that you're bringing in here. How does that impact a defensive coordinator and how he calls a game?
You got to think about it in this way, Wolf. When an offensive coordinator lose their starting quarterback, the whole game plan changed. They're not able to run, things that they ran all training camp because they're not comfortable, or they just don't have the belief that the guys who are being called up, that it may be a little bit much on their plate. So for the most part, when guys being stepped up or called up into this role, they try to dummy down and try to make the game plan as simple as possible so the guys can play fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that it's just like essentially losing your starting quarterback on the offensive side of the ball. Now you're going to have to be a little bit more diligent on the pressures and how aggressive that you want to be as a play caller.
Yeah, would you have a tendency, and I know it's all based on what your corners can do, it just seems to me to call more man I would call more man because it's simple for the corner to say, this is my guy. I'm going to play a man technique as opposed to some complex pressure and blitz packages.
Yeah, you know what, Wolf? That's always easy to say to play man, but playing man is an art, as you know. You played in this league. You know, I played in this league. It's an art being able to stick next to a receiver, especially with all the rules and all the different routes they're able to run right now. They got jerk routes, they got pick routes. There's so many answers in the game now to where man to man, they're making it harder to play man to man. You know, that's why there's only so many corners that's able to travel with the top receivers. The same way when I was playing, you know what I mean? So I feel like what they should do is, like you said, don't have it so complex, but play some quarters, dabble in some mans, play some cover threes, you know, then implement maybe some pressures on 3rd and 6 to where it's easy for your corners. You know the pressure is coming at this certain down to where now they know they don't have to cover everything. Because for the most part, as you know, Wolf, 3rd down plans, if a team is 3rd and 5, they're going to run what they run in 3rd and 5. If they're 3rd and 7, they're going to run what they run in 3rd and 7. You know what I mean? So the proof is in the pudding. Those guys just have to make sure that they're studying those money play downs to make sure that they're successful.
We're talking to Patrick Peterson. Patrick, what did you make of the end of that game on Sunday where it almost went really badly for the Cardinals, but then they did fight through it and win, and it basically ended on that second Calais Campbell sack too?
Well, honestly, you know, I'm pleased that the guys got the win, but still just disappointed how they closed the game out, because that's been, you know, for the most part, that's been how the guys finish out the season. So if these guys, you know, the Arizona Cardinals want to be in the playoff and be a contender, they have to learn how to finish games out, not only games in the season. And how you learn how to finish games out, finishing the season out, by finish games out like this. You guys was up 27-9, 13 minutes ago. You know, Kyler had a costly interception that kind of gave the Carolina Panthers momentum again, because they were pretty much dead in the water. You know what I mean? So we have to be able to find ways to close teams out and finish teams when we have the opportunity to. The same thing last week when they played the Saints. You know, that game was pretty much in the Cardinals, and you know, in our hands. Yeah. You know, but we find a way to start to get in a lull in the fourth quarter to help the New Orleans Saints climb back in that game. So moving forward, they have to find ways on closing these games out, and once they start finding ways to close games out, I think that's going to help them throughout the season as well.
Patrick, it's always great to talk to you, man. Thank you.
Pat.
All right, guys. Be good. I'll see you next week.
All right, take care. That's Patrick Peterson, off to golf right now, joining us on the Arizona Sports
on
Line.
the course.
Well, we tried. We tried to get him to come back and play corner. Yeah. We had to ask.
He said he hasn't been working out, though.
He just seems like he's enjoying
If he was working out, yes. Yeah, honestly, that's a guy that I think could be 40 and you could bring him back.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.